Hopefully a lot of you follow us, Wrestling Mindset. We're all over Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. We've been all around the country. We've been everywhere except home. And we're happy to be with you guys tonight. So very, very good stuff. So today really begins a totally different mindset. This is going to be the first step to getting the team program going here at Penridge with all the different age groups. So today's the first step for radically changing our mindset in wrestling, school, and life. And unfortunately, most of your friends and the people that you're around are going to be average. Okay, most people that you know are not going to accomplish very much. They're not going to be that successful. So, and I'm not saying this to put anyone down. It's just a matter of if you want to be great, you have to rise up. You have to do better than the people that are around you. And I'm not saying like with each other, like being mean to each other. I'm saying you need to get more out of yourself. If you want to be great, you need to study the best people in the world. You have to ask yourself, what do the best wrestlers in the world think? How do the best athletes in the world think? How do the happiest people in the world think? The most joyful and the most fulfilled people, and how do the holiest people in the world think? Always studying the best people. So why I said that is because if you do what most of your friends do, you're probably not going to do very much in wrestling, school, or life. So Jeff and I, we're both nationally ranked in the top 20 in the country, all Ivy League wrestlers at the University of Pennsylvania. So we're at the highest level of wrestling academically and athletically, and it was because, again, being different than your friends. Don't fall into the trap of just doing what all my friends are doing. Being fanatical about your wrestling, your nutrition, and your life, that's not the enemy. The enemy is socialism. And when I say socialism, I mean not in the political terms, I mean where you just try to follow the group, blend in with your friends, and just have a nice, fun time. Those people go nowhere. The best people have to think a little bit differently. So when we come in, no matter what group we speak to, we always ask the same first question. What percentage of wrestling is mental and what percentage is physical? If you had to say, call it out. No, the kids. Come on, speak up, shout it out. We're not in school. 85% mental, 80? We got 85, we got 80, we got 80, we got 85, we got 90, we got 90. No, that's not the point. Okay, we know the sport is very mental, right? We know wrestling is very mental. You can say it's about 80% mental. Your success in wrestling, school, and life is about 80% mental. Now I ask you, how much time are you training physically versus mentally? How much time are you training mentally, percentage-wise? How much time are you spending training physically? Give a number. 95? Right man back, 99%. Hey, and we're just like you guys. We were sitting in your shoes not very long ago. We got done competing several years back. Our youngest brother, he just graduated Rutgers about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever it was. He was ranked as high as 6th in the country, 2-time academic All-American. So we're not far from our competing days. And if you guys are like us, we spent all our time training physically, and we didn't train at all mentally. Basically nothing. And then you ask yourself, are you wrestling your very best? Do you feel like you're really wrestling your very best every time you step on the mat? And for most people, usually it's no. Most wrestlers, they do a lot better in practice. We see that very frequently. We have what we call the mindset red flags. See if some of these are you. Because this was me and my brother when we were competing, and this is some of our best wrestlers all around the country. Getting too nervous before matches, giving good opponents too much respect. If we know they placed in the state or they're ranked in the state, they're ranked in the country, we give them too much respect. Choking in big matches. We get into those big matches, and we see it in the state tournament, the NCAA's every year. Every year, a guy comes out, their eyes are wide as saucers. They see thousands of people in the stands, and they choke, and it's not just those national guys. You also see it at the younger levels. Our parents, our grandparents, our cousins, people come to the match. We want to do well. We don't want to let our family and friends down, so we underperform in those matches. Being a slow starter, how many of you guys have figured the first match of the tournament, you don't wrestle your best? You come out slow. That's a common thing. Yeah, it's a lot of people. So these are the common red flags we see. Or a lot of our wrestlers tell us they didn't feel good in the match until the second or third period. You ever get that? Where you don't really feel like the motor's running until like the second or third period? I know that was me too. The problem is that's unacceptable. If you're trying to beat someone who's better than you, you've got to come out of the blocks hard. As soon as you step on that line, conveniently it's right here. As soon as you step on that line, you got to be ready to go. You're never going to beat someone who's a little bit better than you. It takes you a period to warm up. So these are things we see over and over. Guys giving their opponents too much respect. Being practice room wrestlers. Right? We beat the guy in practice, and then we go into a match, And what happens? Maybe it's a close score, or we might even lose to that guy who we meet every day in practice. So we can't have that. Those are common mindset red flags. And we work with, come on in guys, come on in.
Take those shoes off.
So we're working with wrestlers from elementary school. Our youngest wrestlers are 6 and 7 years old. Our oldest wrestlers, the Olympic team. We helped the women's Olympic team get ready for Rio this year. You know, Helen Maroulis was a gold medalist. They call it the greatest day in women's U.S. wrestling history. We're happy to be a part of that. Adeline Gray, she was a world champion 3 times. When we talked to Team USA, she was always sending out our tweets when we talked about different things with mindset. She was a believer. And then last year, before the Olympics, the U.S. women's Olympic team, they took 3rd in the worlds. Big deal. 2 champs, Adeline Gray, Helen Maroulis, and Lee James wound up taking 3rd. So that was another big moment for Team USA Women's Wrestling. But we spoke with their team every Wednesday on Skype. So they were in Colorado Springs at the Olympic Training Center, and here we were in New Jersey, and we did the same Skype talk, just like we're going to do with your team. We'll be up on the screen, we'll get a classroom, and the wrestlers, they had their workbooks, they were ready to go, they had their mindset worksheets, they filled them out, and that's how we prepared them for the Olympics. And guess what? The program that we do with the Olympic team is no different than what we do with the middle school, elementary school, or high school. It's the same thing. Sure, we're going to speak a little bit differently to an elementary school wrestler, but it's going to be the same lessons. We see those same red flags at every single level. High school, college. Over this past year, we worked with the past couple of years, we worked with some of the top teams in the country. Rutgers, they had their best season ever. They had 2 All-Americans this year. They beat Nebraska, they beat Cornell. That was a big win. I mean, a couple of years ago, Rutgers beating Cornell or Nebraska, that would be unthinkable. So they're basically the new Big Red, you'd have to say. They beat Cornell, knocked them out. Then also, you look at Michigan, we worked with them. They had 5 All-Americans, half their team were All-Americans. Edinburgh, some of you follow Edinburgh, where they had Shop, Court, Habit, all those guys. We worked with them during those years. And it's really just doing the mindset exercises. That's the thing. When I speak to you, this is an introduction right here. Nobody is training their mind right now. I don't want there to be any misunderstandings. This is not mindset training listening to me. Just like when your coach show you moves, what do you do after coach shows you move? What do you do? Call it out. You drill it, right? You practice it. Coach showed you a move and everyone walked out the door. Did you really do any technique training? No, right? How many of you do some weight training? Or maybe younger guys do push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups? You guys all probably do some weight training, right? Do you just think about doing your push-ups and sit-ups? Or do you actually get on the ground and do it? Right? You do it. You don't think about doing pull-ups. Wait, let's all think about doing pull-ups right now. My arms haven't grown an inch. Why? Because the training time wasn't put in, right? Well, it's the same exact thing with mindset. Just listening to me is not only small, it's pointless if you're not doing the mindset exercises and the mindset worksheets that we give you. I can't even stress that enough. You have to do the things that we're telling you. Otherwise, nothing changes. This might sound good, but it doesn't get the results. You have to do the push-ups, you have to do the drilling, you have to do the mindset worksheets and the mindset exercises. Very important. And we know parents, coaches, you tell a kid something, and it's no offense to you guys, it's the same thing with me too. It goes in one ear and out the other. What's the average? Hey, we'll ask the parents and coaches this. What's the retention rate, the average retention rate for just listening to a lecture for people, for kids? Now, I was a school psychologist. Before I jumped ship in my full-time job, I was a school psychologist, and I have 2 master's degrees. One's in clinical psychology, the other one's in sports psychology. So we had to know all the research. We had to have the numbers down. Your average retention rate for listening to a lecture, what is it? What? 5%. That's right. 5%. 5%. 5%. The average. So basically, just listening to me, if you're just listening to me, you're probably only going to remember 5% of what I talk about. That's bad. That's down there in the toilet. It's almost like it was better off we weren't here. That's not true because, again, I don't want to give a thought-provoking speech right now. I want to give an action-provoking speech. And that's why once the team is doing these worksheets regularly, just like the Olympic team, just like these college programs, that's where we're going to get the results. You guys know Bergen Catholic. They've been the top team in the state of New Jersey for the past 4 years. We've been working with them not only as a team, they do our team individual program twice a month, And like 1/5 of the team does the individual program. So we have a team program and an individual program. So that's why they're really cooking, because they're constantly training their mindset. All the best are working on their mindsets. Like we said, if the sport's 90% mental and we're training 90% physical, that's a problem, right? You guys see that I was never a math guy. I was better in English and history, right? Do we have any math guys in the room? All right, so you guys know what I'm talking about. Those graphs are way off. We're saying it's 90% mental, we're training 90% physical. We have to fix the problem. Now, I'm not discounting hard work. You have to work your butt off. You better be drilling all the time. You better be doing your strength training all the time. Your running, your sprints. It's just we also have to do the mindset training also. So thinking like the best people in the world. And when you look at the best wrestlers in the world, who are the best wrestlers in the world? Who? Call it out. Jordan Burroughs, he's one of the best. Yeah, what team, what country is the best wrestlers in the world? Year in and year out. I'll give you him since the 1970s. They've been the #1 team in the world, basically, almost year in and year out. Who? Russia? Russia, right. So I ask you, what do you know about Russian and Soviet training methods? In America, most of us don't know anything about Soviet training methods. And the problem with that is, if they're the best people in the world, we better be giving them the heck of a look. Again, I have to make certain assumptions. I'm assuming that this is a group of people here that want to be great. If you just want to be average, this message might not be for you. But if you're really looking to accomplish things at a high level, we have to study the best people in the world. And it's no different in the classrooms. Again, as Ivy League students and wrestlers, we understand that this is not, if you just learn the lesson in wrestling and you don't apply this to school and your life, you wasted your time. Wrestling has to be a vehicle for you to improve your life. We were very blessed to have coaches in high school that they understood that. And they told us that make sure you learn the life lessons from wrestling. And that's why I say to you with mindset, relaxing under pressure, that's relaxing under pressure in any situation you're in. Confidence is confidence. Whether you're stepping on a wrestling mat, whether you're taking the SATs, whether you're applying for a job, you're in a job interview in the future. How old are some of you guys? Some 16, 17, 18? All right, so you think about it like this. 5 years from now, 6 years from now, you're going to be applying for your first job. The older guys, and you younger guys will eventually be in that position, so, you got to pay attention still. But you guys will be in that position. You're going to have no work experience, and you're going to have someone who looks like your parents saying, why should I hire you? And you're going to have the confidence to say, because I'm organized, because I have a positive attitude, and because you'll never meet a harder worker than me. You're going to have to be able to look at that adult without flinching, with perfect confidence. That's a tough thing to do at first. Seems a little tough, right? Right? Sometimes we like rather do that 4-hour practice than maybe speak to an adult like that. So we have to work on this. There's a way to do it. And in fact, 2 of our other mindset coaches, they were former Ivy League wrestlers. They were our teammates at Penn also. But all of our mindset coaches, we have 14 all around the country. We do all the one-on-one sessions. It's all done over the phone. And our team sessions, it's all done on Skype, which is a nice treat that we're actually here in person. Normally, we don't go to different schools. I mean, it's pretty rare. We go places, but it's pretty rare. You guys happen to be pretty close, within that 2-hour radius where we start capping it off. But all of our former mindset coaches, they all wrestle. All of our mindset coaches were former college wrestlers. So you're not speaking with someone who hasn't been through the same grind as you. They've all lost weight. They've all made it through college. They've all succeeded in wrestling. So very important. So like I said, fixing the problem. If I can't stop a double leg, when I come into practice, what should I work on? Double leg counters. How old are you guys in the back? 9, 11, 9, 11. Okay, so if we're 9, we're 11 years old, and we can't stop a double leg, what should you do when you come in the room? Practice what? Counters, right? No, you're right. Now what happens, you guys are in elementary school now, right? Okay, what happens if we don't practice double leg counters and we go into middle school? What's going to happen when a guy has a good double leg? We're going to get taken down. Now what happens if we go to high school and we still haven't worked on double leg counters? What's going to happen? Still get taken down with the double leg. So the point is this, and this is the misconception we have with mindset. A lot of people think, well, these kids are going to mature and eventually their mindset is just going to change on their own. We wouldn't apply that logic to any other area of life. No other area. If a kid's not good at math, we're not going to be like, well, hey, he'll mature out of it. No, he gets a tutor. He comes in for extra help. All right? If a kid, yes, and